Hi there, friends. Welcome back to a late night show here on www.zambotimes.com. And once again, we welcome you to our presentation as we feature another important guest tonight. And hopefully, you're right there, pinned to your seats. And I believe this personality would be able to give us his inputs, his insights, his thoughts about the department that he is working with, and hopefully his experiences while doing all these nitty-gritty things as the builder of the autonomous region in Muslim Mindanao. And I'm referring to no less than our very one young, dynamic, very competent, and of course very zealous in his work, and who loves public service. Let's welcome, ladies and gentlemen, our very own, the Secretary of the Department of Public Works and Highways in the Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao. I'm referring to Honorable Engineer Emir Sanain. Sir, welcome to Late Night Show.
Good evening, Bernie, and good evening to all televiewers. Magandang gabi sa inyong lahat. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh.
Well, you've been here, there, and everywhere. Omnipresent, I should say, because just a few days ago you were in Manila, and then Cotabato, and tomorrow you'll be flying again. Yeah. Oh, what a work, no? But a very pressing work for the Secretary of the RMM, entrusted with a very gargantuan task to see to it that infrastructure projects will really come into reality as we try to reform the autonomous region in Muslim Mindanao in all aspects. This time, we'd like to start with Secretary. Secretary, kumusta na yung pag-ikot mo? I know you're a very busy guy, but thanks for this opportunity that you accorded us this your little time to be with Late Night Show. Ano nang focus natin, Secretary? After 100 days, I've learned that DPWH somehow had a mark that all the other departments could emulate. You were given this, you were rated, no? And took cognizance of the accomplishment that you had in the last 100 days.
Yeah, actually, Bernie, it's really one hell of a job, no? To be assigned in the ARMM, especially in the line agencies like DPWH. So, but sad to say, we really have to work overtime in this perspective in order to regain back the dignity of public service and to install good public perceptions, not only in DPWH in particular, but also in the ARMM in general. So, as I mentioned, in most of my lectures and most of my consultative meetings with all the 7 district offices we have in the ARMM, we really have to focus on major reforms, no? Kasi we've been comparing the earlier activities, the earlier accomplishments, as to present situation. So if you may realize that we only have about 5 months lapse, no, from the date we took over the DPWH ARMM. Yeah. But good to say we have done a lot of good and workable performance that no less than the public were able to realize, no, some development that were actually in place, not only in the DPWH organizations, but also down to the ground of the district offices and to the stakeholders, particularly the communities as the service areas.
One of the promises that you gave, one of the promises that you will go around the island, Pasulta area, and I happened to be with you in Tawi-Tawi. That was the first time that you visited, and we have 3 focuses that we have there: water, the bridge, and of course the other road projects. So, have you visited all the other provinces already, Secretary?
Yeah, basically there are 5 provinces covered under the ARMO. In the mainland, you have the Lanao del Sur and Maguindanao. And for the island provinces, you have the Basilan, Sulu, and Tawi-Tawi. But to start off this reform, when we started early part of this engagement, we were able to install the, we call it DPWH ARM agenda. The DPWH ARM agenda for 2012 and beyond, these are actually focused on 4 major milestones. One is the optimizations of budget. Since ARM itself, for DPWH alone, has only a very meager resources in terms of infra compared to the neighboring regions like Region 9, 10, 11, and 12. So while they enjoyed 3 billion, about average of 3.5 billions per year, pero sa ARM DPWH, we're only receiving 1 billion per year allocations, no, for the infrastructures.
That's only how many percent, Secretary?
It's very, very small. About 1/3 of the regional offices we have in the neighboring regions. So we have to make use to the last centavo of budget. Dapat na sa maayos na pagpapagawa ng infrastruktura at hindi na sasayang. Then second, we also have to transform the organizations, no, and as well as the personnel in a way that they will become more responsive and efficient in terms of public service delivery. And third, we have actually to review and simplify existing systems and procedures in the DPWH arm. Because when I came here, I was instructed by Secretary Singsol to be more prudent in fiscal control and as well as to institute all the necessary reforms that what we are doing in the national. So parang gusto niya i-work out ang DPWH arm similar with what we're doing in the national, which is actually tamang directions din yun. Because in the national, DPWH, we are actually given a marching order of right project, right cost, and right quality where we are actually exercising this to the district level. So ginagawa natin. And fourth is the optimize the utilizations of ODA assistance or the overseas development assistance that we could get from the external agencies like donor countries, Saudi funds, or some studies from ADB, World Bank, or JICA, or any other donor countries from the Islamic countries. As we refer to the OIC member countries, they're actually very supportive in giving some funds to this. But one thing that we really have to work on this, we need to show some project proposals, project study where this money will be used. No? Kasi we cannot just simply ask or beg for assistance without showing the merit of where to put this budget.
Yes,
so talagang dapat nandoon ang pangangailangan, nandoon din ang support. Yeah, it should be on record. Now, under DPWH ARM budget, regular budget, we are also actually trying to erase and at least replace the old system of priorities. Kasi dati-rati, almost 80% of the budget of the ARMM are actually put into farm-to-market roads. At alam naman ng farm-to-market roads, puro graveling, puro road maintenance na hindi naman walang katuturan yung trabaho. So nawawala yung pondo, nawawala yung budget na binigay ng pamahalaan at nasasayang lang yung opportunity. No? So but this time, we were able to simplify the order prioritizations for the projects. One is following the DBM guidelines for the 2012 budget. First, we have to focus on national infra. Roads, bridges, flood control, water supply, ports, and other major infrastructure. Then second, we have to look some prospect of developing some strategic infra where it can invite more tourist attraction, agricultural productivity, and improve the peace and order situations in the localities of the 5 provinces. And there's also the conflict affected areas or calamity affected areas that we have also to address. Nakikita natin yung pagbabaka minsan in the case of Maguindanao, or some kahirapan sa scarcity sa tubig in the case of Tawi-Tawi and Sulu and Basilan. So we have to address all these things.
Okay, so one at a time. So you went, I know that you are a hands-on manager. You really go around and see for yourself itong mga needs of the community. So what have you found out?
Yeah, we really have to work overtime on this. No? Doon sa 5 months na yon of trabaho, we really have accomplish more than a year actually performance. I would say that
Na-overshoot.
actually na-overshoot siya ng totoo
Target
because
mo siya
sa dami ng pangangailangan, sa dami ng opportunity to develop social infra at saka public infra, nakita natin talagang there are more things to be done than what is being seen or repaired by media or by somebody people.
Yes.
Pero if you go down to the ground and touch base with the community, nandoon ang pangangailangan at nandoon mararamdaman mo ang laking backlog ng DPWH na participations in terms of socio-economic development. I would like to give more emphasis on the national roads. No? Ang national roads for the ARMM itself, when I took over, I was able to find out na there are about 999 kilometers national roads. Out of these 999 kilometer roads, we still have about barely 20% unpaved national roads. No?
Unpaved, huh?
So that's about 179% or nearing to about mga 180 kilometers na unpaved national roads at 20%. So doon nakita natin, while comparatively with the other regions, no, Region 9, 10, 11, 12, they have already actually covered 100% paved national roads. And yet they're now working on expanding from 2 lanes to 4 lanes. Pero sa atin, meron pa tayong 179 unpaved national roads.
When you say unpaved, lupa
ito
pa
mga
yan.
graba pa lang. Gravel pa lang siya.
Graba pa lang.
So sa ganun pa lang, how can you assure some continuous mobility and connectivity in terms of seamless transportation, no? Na network. Wala tayong maasahan sa ganun. Kaya nga sabi nila, pag nasa arm ka, lubak-lubak, mararamdaman kahit nakatulog ka, o pikit ka, o bulag ka, mararamdaman pag sa arm, parang lubak-lubak ang dadaanan mo. So with this, we were able to zero in a 100% covered national roads, no, under the infra budget we have. We have that very scarce budget, about 50% we invested on national roads, paving the national roads, and the remaining balance, sinama namin doon sa expanded, we call it expanded social development projects. These are actually budget or program that would cover about 107 unpaved national roads.
107.
So yung ibang about 60, nakapasok na stimulus funds at nakapasok na sa regular infra namin. So no less than the President actually was able to approve this in principle. When we presented this during the cabinet meeting sa Malacanang, kasi nakita rin ni Presidente ang kahalagaan ng national roads, dapat naka-pave talaga siya. So, ang malaking bagay dito, when we were able to present this to the President, hindi nagdalawang isip si Presidente, kundi aprobahan talaga yung budget pangangailangan. So,
okay. So, we have learned also based from comparison with the other departments. You had a savings of around 80 million last month. Where did it cover?
Yeah,
From last year pa ba ito?
No, that's actually the present budget for 2012. Kasi as I mentioned, one of the milestone reform we are targeting is to optimize budget.
Correct.
So we were able to save at least 59 million from the MOE funds we had.
This was unused funds, no?
Supposedly, kung dating gawin nila, nawawala lang to. So we were able to reserve this and have it done for procurement of additional equipment. So this time, magiging mabilis ang patrabaho natin sa district offices with all these construction equipments coming in.
And recently, you mentioned about equipment. May dumating na sa Basilan.
Yeah, that's first
Dumating na siya.
construction fleet equipment that we actually sent to Basilan.
And we expect also the Sulu. And
Yeah,
Tawi-Tawi.
Sulu will soon be receiving their own share of equipment also, in the same manner that Lanao, Maguindanao has also their own set of equipment.
Okay.
So we wanted that all the provinces, the 5 provinces, has their own sufficient fleet of equipment. At least makatrabaho sila ng mabilis at maayos.
Okay. So the DPWH is also involved in disaster, mitigation and response. So we will talk about it. How useful is the department to our community? We'll be right back after this for more questions and answers with our good Secretary Emil Saray. We'll be right back.